Today on How It's Made. Underwater robots. Pay attention, because this story is very deep indeed. Lasagna. Come and pass the time away with us. I thank you. Bandsaws. We show you how woodwork should work. And ski and trekking poles. A balanced view on a somewhat slippery subject. But first, robots can perform many underwater tasks which are beyond the abilities of human divers, such as collecting samples from the ocean floor for scientific research, exploring shipwrecks, inspecting underwater pipelines, or searching for explosives, or indeed, even recovering bodies. This particular underwater robot is designed to find unconscious drowning victims. Recent incidents have shown that a person recovered within 90 minutes may survive without brain damage when rescuers follow a specific resuscitation protocol. The robot uses a protruding interlocking jaw to grab the victim by a limb and haul him or her to the surface. Its onboard camera gives operators at the surface an underwater view. When the water's too murky to see anything, video-enhancing technology and imaging sonar can detect the outline of objects. The robot is propelled through the water by thrusters. For each one, technicians position a pair of greased O-rings onto end caps. These are installed on each end of the thruster housing. The O-rings seal the end caps, keeping water out of the motor, which is located inside the housing. The motor shaft protrudes through the propeller end cap. A mechanical bail secures both thruster end caps to the housing. They fill the thruster with oil. This prevents it from imploding under pressure as the robot goes deeper and deeper. After filling, they use a vacuum to remove any air bubbles and draw the oil into every space. Then they install a reservoir, which they also fill with oil. When underwater pressure builds, this backup oil supply will fill any minuscule air gaps the vacuum might have missed. They close the reservoir with a sealing screw to prevent any oil from leaking out. Now they turn their attention to the thruster's main component, a two-blade propeller made of durable nylon. It goes on the back end of the thrusters. They install the camera chassis onto the robot. This chassis also carries the majority of the robot's electronics, such as the computer, communications equipment, and lighting. Here they're hooking up the belt for the tiny motor, which tilts the camera up and down. They cover the camera chassis with a transparent acrylic cylinder, called the viewing port. A cap with another O-ring seal keeps the water out. They install the power supply at the opposite end of the robot, then encase it in a metal tube, which is also sealed on both sides with an end cap and an O-ring. For the thrusters to work at maximum efficiency, the robot must be neutrally buoyant, neither too light nor too heavy. So once all the thrusters and electronics have been fitted, technicians install the main float. Certain models have additional floats. They cap each propeller with a vented cover called a cork nozzle. This isolates the water flow, maximizing the propeller's efficiency. These bumper frames act like the bumpers on a car. They absorb the force of any impact, protecting the robot from damage when it encounters underwater objects. The bumper frames also serve as anchor points for lights and other components, including specialized tools, such as the quick-release jaw, which can grab the limbs of drowning victims. They install the jaw at an angle, so it doesn't block the camera. Now the sonar unit, which is also mounted on the bumper frames. The sonar projects a 130-degree left-to-right 3D image onto a monitor at the surface, showing the outline of objects around the robot. Finally, at the top, they install a strobe light, a flashing beacon which tells rescuers on the surface exactly where the robot is. every underwater robot goes for a test dive. They submerge it in a tank, which is essentially an aquarium, complete with pictures of fish. These are not there for effect. They provide colourful images on which testers can check the camera's focus. After that, open water awaits, though hopefully only for the robot and not for anyone else.